Hey guys, you're watching Dansky. Welcome to another video. In this video that I haven't actually decided what it's going to be called yet, I'm going to show you how you can take a really complex shape and break it down into simple steps and then use that to recreate the shape. Now this is something that was sent in by someone. I don't know if they want me to disclose their name, so we'll just call them Roger. So Roger sent me in this design that we're going to look at in a minute. It's a very cool shape, very geometric. And initially it looks very complex. And we're going to break it down using a little bit of problem solving. And that's pretty much what we're going to do. So that's enough of me waffling. We'll jump to the screen now and get started. Okay, so you can see the design here. We have this really cool shape. Now, this is often the case with very complex shapes in Illustrator. You need to look at them and try and simplify them in your mind, and then you can recreate them step by step. So first of all, I'm going to look at this and try and identify any shapes that I recognize. Now, the first one that stood out to me was the octagon here around the edge. So you can see if we go up along, we've got an octagon there, which is 8 sides. And then we've got another one here as well. So they're slightly offset. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and we'll start with that. So click and hold on the rectangle tool, grab that polygon tool, click anywhere, and we'll create an 8-sided shape. Let's scale this up and we'll make sure we set that fill color to none. And we'll try and position this over this shape. Let's see if we can get this lined up. Okay, cool. So there we go. Octagon. I'm going to use the arrow keys to nudge that in position. Now what I can do is go up to edit, we'll go copy, and then we'll just paste this in front. So we've got a copy on top. Now I can rotate this here freely, or I can hold shift and you can see it snaps to those 45-degree increments. However, that is a little bit too much. Now I could rotate this freehand like this, and you can see it's rotated by 337.47 degrees. Doing it manual is one way that you're going to get a lot of problems. If we do this perfectly and nice and geometrically, like, you know, mathematically, we're going to get much fewer problems when we come to line everything up. So let's just undo that. And I'm now going to, where am I going to go? To the transform panel over here. We've got this rotate box. Now I'm going to try rotating half of 45 degrees, which is 22.5. That took way too long. So we'll go 22.5. And there we go. Perfect. So because we've done that mathematically with that level of precision, when we come to create the other bits later on, everything should, in theory, line up perfectly. Hopefully. Okay, so we've got the outside done, nice and easy. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on these lines that come towards the center like this. So let's go over here. Click on the line segment tool, hold, and then go down to polar grid tool. Now this is a really awesome tool. I don't use this too much, but it is very handy. So we're going to set the number of concentric dividers to 0. Concentric dividers are like rings, so you can have lots and lots of rings. We're going to go with radial dividers. Now I've got an 8-sided shape, and if I just move this out of the way, each of these seems to connect to a point. But there's definitely more than 8 of these. So I'm going to go with 16. We'll just double the number of sides of our octagon. Hopefully this works. And then what we'll do is we'll scale this up. Now I'm doing all of this very manually. To line everything up perfectly, let's just drag over everything. And we'll align these to each other. So everything is centrally aligned. We'll just have to put that back in position now, the octagons. And let's just scale this up. Now I can scale holding shift, but because I've centered everything, I'm going to hold Alt or Option as well, and that will scale to or from the center. And if I just go a little bit bigger for now, you can see that those lines perfectly line up. So that's another one we've got right, which is good. And then if I just grab the direct selection tool, I can hit delete or backspace, because we don't actually need that outer ring. So let's just get rid of that. Okay, cool. So it goes a little bit beyond the bounds there, but that's fine. We can just select this. Again, scale down, holding Shift and Alt or Option. No, I'm holding down the wrong key there. Don't do that. Okay, we'll scale this down. So it needs to go to about here. Now I'm just going to zoom in on this 1 point. Now these strokes have a 1 point thickness. Now we want to line this up without any stroke properties, nothing creative in there. So I'm going to press Command or Control Y. That takes us into outline mode. So we get a styleless wireframe of our design. And you can see, oh my goodness. Well, you can see I've done that perfectly first time. That doesn't normally happen. So I'm quite surprised at that. You can probably tell. So let's just zoom out. I want to show you how you do it if it isn't quite right. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to zoom in. There we go. So we'll zoom in. You can see it's way too big over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here like this. We're going to maintain the width and height proportions, as the tooltip says. Click in the box, and now we can scale this up or down using the up or down arrow keys. So I'm going to do this here. Now what we can do is if I want to move in smaller increments, I can hold Command or Control. So you can see at the moment it's moving by 1 pixel, and I can move it by 0.1 pixel just by holding Command or Control and using the up and down arrow keys. So we can line this up. Where's the mouse gone? Oh, completely missed the mouse then. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to zoom in nice and close. Oh, slightly off, but that's fine. I can just click this, click in the box, Command or Control, and press the up arrow key. Okay, it's gone ever so slightly outside. So can we go half a point of a pixel? Yes, we can. Oh my goodness. This is S tier precision. Right, so we'll go 0.93. If you're a perfectionist, you can mess around with this. I think 0.4, that's going to be the winner. Let's have a look at that. Perfect. So there we go. We've zoomed in as much as we can in Illustrator. We know it's perfect now, so that's cool. I'm happy with that. So let's zoom back out. Command or Control Y to come out of outline mode. So that's that part of the shape. It's all centrally aligned. Everything is lined up, so that's good. Next, what I'm going to do is look at this part of the shape. So you can see we've got this really cool overlapping pattern here. Now, if we break this down, we can go up here. We've actually got a little bit of a star, like a 8 or 10-sided star, something like that. It gets quite difficult to count because there's so many different shapes that actually it can be like a bit of a, like it can fry your brain trying to look at this and dissect it. But one way I found to get around this was actually with the pen tool. So we could use the star tool. We've got the star tool down here, but then you've got to kind of enter different values and make sure everything's lined up. Whereas actually with the pen tool, you can see I've got my smart guides on, so it snaps to everything, which is handy. If you don't have those on, go to View, down to Smart Guides. And what I can do is I can actually just click here. Now, I don't know what this angle is, but if I hold Shift, well, I can see that fortunately it's a 45-degree angle. So I'm just going to keep Shift held. The Smart Guide helps me line it up to that line. And I can essentially, this is as easy as a dot to dot. So I'm just holding Shift, left clicking, going along. And this is super easy. So this is pretty lucky that these angles are at 45 degrees and 90 degrees because I can just hold Shift, do the whole thing. We've got one, and similarly to the outside, I can then select this, copy and paste it in place. And again, I'm going to rotate this like this, but I'm not going to do it manually. I'm going to do it mathematically, 22.5, I think. Hopefully this works. There we go. That was lucky. So I've created these inner shapes. Now this outer one, I think that is exactly the same shape scaled up. So I'm going to select both of these, copy, paste in place. And remember, scale up holding Shift and Alt or Option. If you don't hold Shift, it will skew out of shape and do all sorts. So scale this up. I think that's snapped, but I'm going to go into outline mode again just to check. I'm going to zoom in on one of these points. How many percent can we actually zoom in? What is the max? 64,000%. So if your stuff is lined up at 64,000%, you're probably good. So There we go. So we've covered all the lines. That is really, really good. Try and sound less surprised, Dan. Okay, so now I'm going to select everything. Before I start cutting this shape up and doing the next step, I'm going to make a copy because I put a lot of work into this and it could go horribly wrong. So I've copied and pasted in place. I'm going to hold Shift and use the right arrow key. I'm going to create a copy and just throw this over there somewhere. Okay, that's the backup in case anything goes wrong. So what I'm going to do now is select everything by just dragging over it. And then I'm going to grab the Shape Builder tool. If you don't see this, it might be under the live paint bucket. Depends what you've got selected. Now what I can do is I can use this to combine shapes together. This is a really cool tool. But conversely, I can hold Alt or Option. You can see that changes to a minus sign, that little symbol next to the cursor. And so I can knock out this entire central area. Boom. And so if I then select everything, I'm just going to double check I've got this right. I can go to Edit and Cut. And then go Edit and Paste in front. It'll paste it back in exactly the same position. Now, if you did want to, you could get the Shape Builder tool. You could go in and you could merge some of these shapes. If you wanted to create a slightly more unique pattern, the possibilities with that tool is endless. But if I'm going to go over here to the stroke box, I'm going to bump this up. Now, if you do increase this weight, what you're going to notice is you're going to get these parts of the stroke sticking out. One way around this that I like to use personally is with everything selected. I just click on Stroke and change that corner type to rounded. And what this does is it will just round off those corners ever so slightly. Where have we gone? There we go. And so you don't get those protruding points. That's a bit chunky now. I'm going to make this a little bit thinner. So this has gone rather well, actually, which is really good. Sometimes it does take a little bit longer. I did practice this at the weekend, but actually as a first go today, that's turned out rather well. So I'm just going to cut this. I've got this here in the background. I don't need that anymore. So I can go to Object and I can go to Unlock All. This is now selectable. And then I can delete that, paste in front, and then go to Object and Group. And then this is all grouped together. And there we go. So that wraps up the video. Thank you, Roger, for sending this one in. This is often the case with complex shapes. You just got to stare at it for long enough with a nice cup of tea or coffee, break it apart in your mind, and then recreate it with more simple shapes. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, you got the comments down below. You can like it if you enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll see you next time.